Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Emerald City Sports, the podcast. I'm Seahawks Martin. That's Josh Ngo. Unfortunately, Jacob is not here this week, so we're gonna do this without him. Let's get into what's going on around the Emerald City. Although we're not gonna talk much about the Seahawks today, We'll talk about Kraken, Sounders, all that stuff. For the NFL though, let's stay away from the Seahawks until Jacob comes back next week. We're gonna talk about championship weekend. You had the AFC championship and the NFC championship last week. So there was some crazy stuff happening, a little bit of controversy over refs. And so we're going to dive right into that. Let's go first to the NFC championship, where everyone came into this game expecting it would be like competitive, it would be a tough matchup, it would be number one offense versus number one defense. And it turned out to be completely the opposite. Philadelphia absolutely routed the San Francisco 49ers due to Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson, their backup quarterback, being injured. And to the point where they were planning to have Christian McCaffrey play quarterback. That's how bad it was for the 49ers. Josh, I mean, us Seahawks fans, obviously, we love seeing the Niners lose. How do you feel about the NFC Championship game?
I didn't expect it to go this way, but obviously, as you said, those injuries caused this to go haywire. Uh, I mean, you can't really say that the Eagles are good, like in this game because they just beat just the 49ers who have injured now like their fourth quarterback and could have injured even more hadn't they rushed out Brock Purdy actually has a torn UCL and will be out 6 months though. That's just the off season. Easy win. Eagles fly. 2 weeks in Arizona, the Super Bowl.
I mean, you gotta feel for Brock Purdy, man. I mean, he was injured. He literally told the people on the sideline, "I can't throw." His right elbow was absolutely smashed, and he just couldn't even release the ball. And so they just forced him back in because they were desperate, and he still couldn't do anything. Obviously, the moment he got injured, a lot of 49ers fans knew they were screwed. Eagles, I mean, yeah, they beat the Niners, but was it really that hard? I mean, it was Brock Purdy with no throwing arm, and it was Josh Johnson, who's been a journeyman for like 12 different NFL teams. So I don't know if the Eagles are really going to supposed to be like hyped up, considering that they're gonna have to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But I guess a win is a win. Since they're going to the Super Bowl, the fans of Philadelphia are absolutely rowdy. I don't know if you saw it, Josh, but Philadelphia fans are just something else. I mean, we've known that for a long time, but like, geez, it's the NFC Championship. Yes, NFC Championship, cool. You won what, the George Halas Trophy, but like, save the celebration for if you win the Super Bowl, because they're already like jumping on light poles. They're already making. They caused a bus stop to collapse. Like everybody was standing on top of the
Yeah, I
bus
saw that.
stop, and they were like celebrating, and then the next thing you know, the whole thing just gives up. It ran out of weight and just collapse and everyone falls to the ground. Like Philadelphia fans are just a different breed. So well, that's one team that's in the playoffs. The NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. For the AFC championship, the Kansas City Chiefs edged out the Cincinnati Bengals 23-23. Wait, no, what am I saying? 23 to 20 in Burrowhead Stadium as the Cincinnati fans. Man, Cincinnati talks way too much trash the
Even the
week
mayor did,
leading
yeah.
up. Yeah, the mayor came up and started talking smack. I mean, they all paid for it. They got big karma that time. I mean, not to talk that much trash, okay? The mayor, like you said, the mayor, he literally said Joe Burrow was Patrick Mahomes' father. Only for Patrick Mahomes to go out in this game with an ankle sprain and still pull off a win. Just Mahomes is the new Brady. I mean, let's just say that. That's just crazy, man. Um, Cincinnati paid for their trash talking ended up costing them, but so many other things cost them this game too. I mean, you had the late hit. Osai, he hit Mahomes late, which gave them a 15-yard penalty into field goal range for Harrison Butker to make an easy field goal. There were so many penalties called against the Bengals, but not against the Chiefs, which caused a lot of controversy. And a lot of people were saying, this thing might be rigged for the Chiefs to win. They want a Kelsey Bowl or whatever. I mean, yeah, some of the calls, I'll admit, they were questionable, but I mean, if you lose, you lose. You just deal with it. That's how it is. That's what happens. You win some, you lose some. Unfortunately for the Bengals, it was the AFC Championship game. Josh, what do you think of the Bengals' performance? I mean, they talked so much trash leading up to this. Did they even back it up?
I don't think so. I mean, they put up a fight against the Chiefs. Like that first half was just like not that great. Only I think 3 points that one or that half. Um, just at the end there, that penalty just completely blew the Bengals out. It was 8 seconds left. And the Chiefs would have been at well would have had to kick a 60-yard field goal with 8 seconds left rather than a 45-yard field goal with that 15-yard penalty. So they would have probably have to run another play, which could have forced this thing to overtime. We could finally see that new rule change where both teams had a possession, but that didn't happen. Uh, I'm pretty sure every Bengals fan got mad, including the teammates, as we saw in some videos.
Yeah.
And that guy paid for it, and that's their season.
I mean, you gotta feel bad for Joseph Osai, man. I mean, he had a good game, most of that up until his late hit. I mean, you saw him crying on the sideline. The CBS guy's like, "Oh man, I got this is ratings right here," just recording him the whole time. But I mean, as a team, you gotta lift people up, even though they make mistakes. And that was something that Jermaine Pratt absolutely did not do because as he was walking to the locker room, he decided to curse out um, Joseph Osai. He said stuff about like this is my last effing year. Why the f would you hit him when he's out of bounds? Why the f would you touch the quarterback? I mean, like, dude, we get it. Yeah, I know he touched the quarterback when he was out of bounds. Bad idea. But when that happens, you don't really need to like yell at him, make him feel like awful and anything like that. And I mean, he's a free agent. He wanted a ring. I guess he has some reason to say that. But like, dude, come on. You got to be a good teammate. You gotta lift people up and you're not going to push them down, especially your own teammates, man. That's just not helping the cause. The Bengals just, that costly penalty just screwed them over. It really sucks. But I mean, we know that teams that make it to the Super Bowl and lose, it's really hard for them to come back. And the Bengals were oh so close to coming back and possibly redeeming themselves, but it is not going to happen this year. So Josh, we have the Super Bowl set. Eagles versus Chiefs. It's the Kelsey Bowl. I mean, you could also say it's the Andy Reid Bowl because Andy Reid
Yeah.
did coach for the Eagles too at one point. Josh, what are you looking? These two teams lining up. I mean, who do you think has the advantage? Who do you think has the upper hand? Who do you think will possibly come out of this Super Bowl with a win?
Uh, well, I don't really like the name the Andy Reid Bowl. Like, I like the concept, but still, it's a completely different team. Since when Andy Reid coached the Eagles, they now have Jalen Hurts, now Devonta Smith, they have Miles Sanders. As of right now, Vegas puts them as favorites, but I like the Chiefs for this one simple reason. Throughout the playoffs, throughout this uh like for this past month or so, they've been playing competitively at their best against the best teams. Now you're saying, oh, they probably went all out against those teams and have nothing left against the Eagles. That's true. In the past month, the Eagles had a bye week um against the Washington football team, the Giants, and whatever state of 49ers you want to call them. They played against completely trash teams and haven't actually faced a legitimate opponent until now. I think the Chiefs have the edge, and I think the Eagles are going to be a little bit rusty.
You make a good point there, Josh. I mean, the Eagles, easy opponents. They're going to come to this game feeling relaxed, but the moment they step on that field and they see Mahomes driving the Chiefs down, it's going to be really hard for them to, adjust as fast as possible. They're going to be laid back. They're going to be like, "Oh, if we got this to the Super Bowl at this point, it'll probably be easy." And I mean, just the X factor for the Chiefs is Mahomes. He's right there. Even with the high ankle sprain, he can still do all these crazy things. Mahomes is magic, man. He's just different. I mean, I don't want to sound like a Mahomes simp, but like I mean, you cannot deny that this guy has like some crazy talent, and he's practically carrying the Chiefs. Even with that big contract, they still are making it to the Super Bowl. They're like the new Patriots. The new Patriots, but like people don't really like hate them as much as they do the Patriots. I mean, they do hate Mahomes' family, which I mean makes sense. But other than that, there's not really much to dislike about the Chiefs. And all of a sudden, I'm coming up with reasons why people might dislike the Chiefs. Isn't that weird? Like maybe the refs might help them. Maybe Goodell loves them. Maybe it's because Chris Collinsworth slobbers all over Patrick Mahomes every Sunday night. But I mean, they're still not as bad as the Patriots were. So I guess we'll take them. They're not that bad. But I mean, man, these two fan bases are what's gonna be crazy. I mean, I would not be surprised if there was like an all-out brawl outside Arizona Stadium between Eagles fans and Chiefs fans. I mean, you got one group, the Chiefs, which is like probably now 30% bandwagons, probably more, probably even more than half. And then you got Philadelphia, which is like all the crazy people, the people that climb up light posts, the people that vandalize walls in celebration. Like that, these two are just crazy fan bases, and I don't think NFL fans in general, like any fan of teams besides the Eagles and the Chiefs, really want any team to win. They're like, we hate both fan bases. Why don't they just both lose so we can watch both teams suffer? That's what a lot of teams fans are saying. It will be hilarious. I won't be surprised if there will be like a brawl that happens. Josh, anything else you got to say about this Super Bowl?
Uh, no, well, not really, because I feel like we should wait until Jacob is there, and plus it's like 2 weeks away, and I feel like the Pro Bowl is gonna be amazing, flag football and such. Still, the Empire State Building after the Eagles won
That was
lit up
so dumb.
green.
That was so dumb. That went like viral on what was it, social media. Like, why aren't the Eagles your division rivals? Or maybe they were lighting it green because of the Jets. I don't know. No, it was because of
What
the
did the
Eagles. It
Jets
literally
do?
said "Fly
Trade
Eagles
Zach
Fly."
Wilson?
I know it's so dumb. I don't know what the people running the Empire State Building were doing. I mean, whoever did that must have gotten fired as soon as possible. And then they lit it
Or
up
they're an Eagles
they
fan.
and they lit
Could
it
be an
up
Eagles fan.
maybe. And then they lit it up in Chiefs colors afterwards.
That's
Okay, I
okay,
mean, I
but
guess.
like,
I guess.
it's not like the Empire State Building is like that like national of. I mean, it's kind of a national symbol, but it's like,
But New
one,
York
is it a football
but New
symbol?
York
Not really.
fans claim it even though, they play in Jersey.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just claim it as theirs. It's just like I mean, it's kind of like if the Space Needle um was like red and yellow, right? Red and gold. Then I mean, we claim the Space Needle as ours because we're from Seattle. So I mean, I guess I could see why. I mean, obviously, New York fans should be mad about that. And then the Empire State Building people just that's a dumb move, man. It's New York. You're not gonna get love for that. I mean, if it was like if they lit up the Liberty Bell in like green, then yeah, that's fine, cause that's Philly. But oh well, it is what it is. Anything else, Josh?
Nope.
All right. One more thing here. I mean, I love how Travis Kelsey just like absolutely destroyed the Cincinnati Mayor while holding the Lamar Hunt Trophy.
Yeah.
Because like we said before, Cincinnati, especially the mayor, was completely just taking a dump on the Chiefs. He was talking about how Joe Burrow's Patrick Mahomes' father. He's talking about how the Bengals will absolutely destroy the Chiefs at Burrowhead Stadium. Um, and then Travis Kelsey proceeded to tell the Cincinnati mayor to know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni. Now I love. Well, first off, I love that because I'm a WWE fan, and like that's The Rock's quote right there. That's like peak 2000 The Rock. So that was great. I know Josh is like, why? Why is Martin saying
Yeah.
this?
Why?
But no, yeah, I mean that was great. But then also like just filling up that smack and throwing it right back in Cincinnati. I mean, you just beat them. You're just up there. You're at the peak of euphoria before you win the Super Bowl, of course. Um, and then you're just filling them up with smack, just letting them have it because that's what's been thrown at your face the prior week, and now you finally get to serve it right back at Cincinnati. Cincinnati just needs to learn to not talk trash anymore. They know that like the next time they talk trash, they're like, oh crap, we're gonna get cursed because the last time we talked trash, we lost. So hopefully Cincinnati remembers not to trash talk too much. Like a little trash talk is fine, but too much trash talk, damn, you're out. All right, the Kraken, Josh, first in the Pacific Division.
Let's
Wow,
go.
wow. I mean, what a jump from last year to this year. I mean, even if they don't hold the first place in the Pacific Division at the end of the season, this is already a big improvement. So, Josh, what has been happening these past couple of weeks?
Yep. Seattle Kraken 29, 15, and 5 overtime losses, 63 points. 1 point edge above the division, but we've played two less games than the Golden Knights and three less games with the King, and we'll hold the division lead heading into the break unless the Kings win on I think Tuesday or Wednesday. But they would have played four more games than us, so huge game lead. Jones steps up. Group hour, just the whole goalie situation is clicking. Grubauer has been amazing these past few games, especially against former team against the Avalanche, though like a 2-1 loss in um overtime. But we can beat these teams. We got the division lead over our first franchise win against the Canucks, a 6-1 win this week. 3-1 win against the Blue Jackets, which we've been okay at. Um just been amazing. And the only thing that's just bothering me is Matty Beniers, obviously,
Yep.
because he got hurt. But how horrible we've been at shootouts. We had two shootouts this year, one against our rival Canucks, and then one this past week against the Avalanche. We just couldn't get the puck into the goal both times. Three misses in a row.
Um, what you said about Matty Beniers, I mean, that was just a crazy cheap shot that he took. So, well, first off, congrats to Matty Beniers on making it to the NHL All Star game, which is great. First Kraken member, I believe.
Uh, no.
No,
I
okay.
think McCann made it last year.
Okay, but he's the first and only Kraken member this year. Beniers has been great this year. But then it all took a turn when he got absolutely cheap shotted. I mean, the guy he got hit by was like what 6'6" and 200. I
Yeah,
mean, he's just crazy. He's much bigger than Beniers. Beniers got all of it. He's missing games now, which sucks. And I mean, even with that, the Kraken are still winning games. They're still first in the division, and hopefully they are able to do it for more to come. Josh, what do you expect from this team in the next week or so?
well, they won't play a game until February 7th, which is I think a week from
Tuesday.
now.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Week from Tuesday. So they will take the time off, rest, recover, and then go to a 4-game road trip. We're back on the road, baby. That's what I love. What we've done is exceptionally well on the road, as you know, during the start of the year. We played the Islanders, the Devils, the Rangers, and the Flyers during that week. I'll preview that more later, but right now, just rest and recover because Matty Beniers will not play in the All Star game. That's the bad thing. Even worse, a replacement that the NHL chose was a Vegas Golden Knights player. So that means there will be no Kraken players playing in the All Star game. None.
I love how like NHL keeps trying to make it a Vegas Golden Knights and Seattle Kraken rivalry, like the two expansion team rivalry. But I know a lot of Kraken fans would much rather have a rivalry like Vancouver, since they're like what 100 miles up
Yeah,
north from us. We'd much rather have a rivalry with Vancouver, right, Josh?
definitely. But the Golden Knights Kraken games, especially this year since we beat them, have been fun. And at the end of the year, we'll play our final two games are both against the Golden Knights. So yes, the NHL signed it up, but I mean, I kind of like to eat it.
And I mean, they're gonna play the Winter Classic here in Seattle against the Golden Knights too, and that's gonna be at T-Mobile Park, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice game. I mean, if they have the roof open, it would be just be absolutely beautiful. It's gonna be like sold out crowd and all that stuff. It'll be nice to watch. All right, Josh. Thanks for the Kraken update. All right. I don't know if you know a lot about this, Josh, but since he's used to be a Husky, I guess I'll talk about him. Sam Huard, Brock Huard's nephew, as most people like to remember him as, he transferred out of UW and is now going to Cal Poly. Um, I don't really like seem sad about it because I mean we still have Penix, we'll be fine. But the only thing that would bother me would be if Sam Hewer does a great job like in Cal Poly, he starts going off, he's gonna like become a star. That's when I'll be bothered. But for now, I think it'll be fine. We still have Michael Penix. He still has one more year left in him. And then after that, we'll just make some decisions. So, I mean, best of luck to Sam Heward and Cal Poly. But no big deal for the Huskies for now. Josh, the Sounders soon will be playing in the Club World Cup. Oh, wait. They already did, didn't they? Josh, fire
What?
away. Club World Cup, Seattle Sounders, what's going on?
They haven't started yet. They'll start next Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Or not 9:30 p.m. 9:30 a.m. So early morning wake up time. For everyone in Seattle. We played two preseason matches in Spain on Saturday. Uh, a draw using mostly our starters, and then a loss or against another team. I think it's called Hammersby. Um, with we did get João Paulo, who's been recovering with an ACL injury, who might not. I mean, he's been able to get into matches. It looks like we won't be able to get this great defensive midfield guy for the World Cup, and maybe not even for the MLS season. But just a good start for him. Uh, but to the World Cup, we'll play against the winner between Al Ali and Auckland FC. They'll play this Wednesday. Then we'll play against the winner of them on Saturday. So they'll be playing on short rest while we have all the time in the world to prepare for this game in Morocco.
All right, Josh. And no matter who the winner is, what do you think your confidence level is with this Sounders team?
I'm pretty well. If they lose in the first round, I'm just grateful that they're able to play in the World Cup as no other MLS team has. And I mean, starting an early year, they'll help ease into the MLS season more quickly as the season starts really quickly. Uh, Starts in late February.
All right. That's nice, Josh. All right. I don't think we have anything else to talk about. We decided to shift the Seahawks stuff away for this week because we'll talk about it once Jacob comes back. Not much else to talk about unless Josh has a game for us. Josh probably doesn't. I'll think about something next week. I might bring back the thing we did last week and see if you guys have been keeping up. No, you guys
I
definitely
didn't
haven't.
do
You guys definitely
it.
haven't. All right. See you guys. Thank you for watching or listening to Emerald City Sports, the podcast. Check us out YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, honestly. We'll see you guys another time and keep riding with Seattle sports.